like to start with a simple story. When we started CanvasM as a value-added subsidiary in 1996, and as you know that it was a startup unit, and we were mandated by the board that we have to look for the areas, which is not proportional to, the growth is not proportional to the number of people. So we started looking at areas, started Blue Sky, and it was completely a blue sky. Everything was open. We were given money, but to start with. And that's where we started our journey in 2006. And 2007, we were still gribbling with ideas, what we should pick it up, because the money given to us as CanvasM was a decent amount of, investments. And we need to, as an owners, for those money, we need to look at those areas. So I start with a story like we started, let's do something in consumer businesses, because I think those will help us to grow exponentially, which is not related with directly proportional to the number of people. Focus group discussions about value-added services in India and what is the perception on the consumers. I would share, like we wanted to talk about to the people very closely, and we collected a bunch of people. You had hired a marketing agency through that, and personally went in these events. And we, collected people of different segments, different SEC based on their incomes, youth, women's, and all those peoples. And I wanted to especially target it, not the affiliates like people like us, but people like, which is little down below, which is SEC B and below. And very interesting facts come out. I still remember some of those things which we picked up that idea and started the whole company around that. And some of these interesting one, I hope everybody understand Hindi. I can use that language which is being spoken by one of the customers and from where we started. Sir, रोज मैं 100 रुपया कमाता हूँ रिक्शा चला के. I earn 100 rupees, by driving rickshaw. And we stayed together in one small room. And whenever I got some saving, I put it in my pocket. And I think that I will recharge my mobile on the next day. But what happens, my colleagues takes out that money and I still empty-handed. So I need a product. I need a product, which can help me to save some money. It's secure, it's convenient, and I can do whatever I want to do. His aspirations were very simple. That was a need which is, coming out of some of these things. And other one, told about his aspirations. So we are from the society. I don't have a bank account when I moved to Delhi. I don't have a ration card. I don't have this thing. So I cannot open my account even if I have the money and wanted to do so. And I cannot do so because I don't have any voter ID, blah, blah. All those things. And he wanted to have a credit card also. Not because his affordability, is because of aspirational value. Very surprising to us. Okay, we move on to the next one. He told about, I don't have these aspirationals, but I want something, stuff which is secure. And, I'm grappling with this change problem. Especially ladies talks about it. I'm grappling with this. I don't need to carry a big purse every time. Something, aap mobile pe kuch kar sakte hain. I don't want to carry my wallet, which is the big wallet. And, I have to save money from my husband. And, in the lower society, what happens when the husband goes to the petrol pump? Aapke paas khulle hain, and it's wiped off the savings of the wife. And she is saving, for 1 week. Very interesting. She said, if I have a wallet, I will not show this money. It's private to me. And it's my money. And it's right. Very interesting. Okay. We talked to another lady and gentleman which is working. And you have seen this phenomena very typically in Kirana stores, You pay him 100 rupees. It costs you 95 or 98 rupees. He will give you 2 toffees. In the whole process, you feel cheated. Right? You feel cheated because You paid him 100 rupees, you didn't get 100 rupees value because the cost of the toffee was never 2 rupees. It was 1 rupee 60 paisa. You want a full value of that 2 rupees. And for me, the 2 rupees was not important. But those guys, the 2 rupees are important because they make 50. And their earnings are every day. So we picked up these ideas and thought of product or a solution as a technology company, and we started our journey around that. We went into the market again, we built something. How are you using? And what is the difficulty you are facing and all? The first more point, when we looked at the data, let me share some of these data with you from an Indian perspective. The 90% of our GDP runs on a cash economy. 4 to 5% are credit card, debit cards, and rest all the other instruments. And whatever we spoke about is targeting that 5% of the market who has a credit card, who understand digital money, who understand digital infrastructures. But what about this 90% of it if it can be converted into a digital money? So I would rather use digital money as a mobile money as more of interchangeable, because I picked up this idea, which is the right sentence someone uses, electronics, digitizing the money, virtual wallet, I think that was one important challenge we see. Okay, that was the first challenge. If the people have a cash, how would they convert a cash, and what would make them convert a cash, and how the system would look like? And what is the ecosystem? There is no ecosystem which converts a cash into digital money. So we started with merchants, like who can do for us. And what is in it for them? We were completely blank, because why do somebody will convert this money into another money? And why would somebody pay? Some of the reasons and aspirational values were ascertained out of this research, and we started building on that hypothesis. Then we started understanding merchant ecosystems. They were having challenge to convert. Then we again went back to the consumers. Do you want something like that? Before we really exposed them to the product. The awareness was very, very low. We again asked, how do you want to get aware? Even they cited some of these very funny examples of Vodafone. This Yuzu comes in, he does something, he goes away. It's a very nice idea, but I didn't understand what he's trying to do. Okay, so I think that's the biggest challenge we saw. Now the third one, which talks about, some of the gentlemen also talks about, when it comes to the mobile, multiple operating system, device, blah, blah, UI, I just make it in simple words. These all set up the society who want to use cash and convert into this. They have mental blocks. One is definite, because they are a cash people. What happened to my taxes? Would I be taxed? I would be caught by tax, because once I convert to digital money, I can be tracked. Blah, blah. All things started. And the second, which comes in, right, how do I get it? If I need to pay 100 rupees, how much I need to pay? And third one, what is the medium of the channel, which is very, I would say, foolproof. It's not foolproof, it's a foolproof, F-O-O-L. Means any idiot can use it. It has to be that simple. And we started looking for technologies around. We tried the legacy channel, which is SMS. Okay, it's very, syntax is the biggest challenge, as somebody pointed out. The penetration will not happen, adoption will not happen. However, available market size is big, because everybody uses this. And then the dialect is a challenge, because we support only dialect, which is English. And we have multiple languages out here. Okay, what do? We tried applications. The same thing, the constraints on the operating systems comes in. We tried on something. Then we found out a solution, and we wanted to experiment, which we were completely bogged down by the ecosystem. This NFC. If you know about NFC, is a near field communication, or I would say in a very simple word for a technologist people is RFID kind of a technology, which is meant for payment systems and did this. Now the challenge was there, the NFC ecosystem was not evolved because the handsets were not there, devices were not there, blah, blah, ecosystem was not there. How do I set it up? And who is ready to invest? Banks never wanted to do our investments because they said point of sale machines are, wireline. This has cost me $6,000, this is $12,000. How do I make money? It's already my loss-making business. Blah, blah. A lot of things started, right? But then we found out a solution through innovation and through our alliances partners that any handset can be converted into an NFC handset. And we have various technologies now evolving like tags, wafers, and which can, take to them. Then we'd start developing this solution around it. And we make the complete solution. And then we ran the pilot. The pilot was very surprised. And I was completely surprised with the results of this pilot. And how we ran the pilot is that we chose about 60, 70 people, asked them to top up our money and convert into this in our canteen. Where this canteen guy is, taking a paper coupon. And we asked him, did you like this technology? Do you want to use it? He said, wow, this is really a wonderful item for me because when I was selling these coupons, the guy who was selling at the outlet, there was a lot of revenue leakage. But in this, if somebody tops up 100 and he's using this as a coupon or a one plate meal, I deduct his 30 rupees, I get full MIS, and I can see how much money I made. The wastage is not there, change is not there, the productivity has increased. He was very much affected. And they put another solution at the tea stop. We use a wireless terminal which is work on a mobile POS, I would say mobile point of sale terminals. We put it on a tea shop outside exactly our office without, I would say, electricity. The machine was created specifically for India, about 17 hours backup, which works on Wi-Fi and GPRS kind of technologies with the SIM inside and all the security modules inside. And this guy started using it for micro transaction like, tea, blah, blah, everything. And then we pulled out the machine, he was uncomfortable. That was an interesting behavior to note down. He was completely uncomfortable. He said, Saab, when are you going to get this machine again? I said, why you want to get it again? I said, because one, it's very convenient. मेरे को हिसाब नहीं लिखना पड़ता. I need not to carry, those ledger books and everything. Lot of dispute happens because of that. It's worth looking at it. And then he started visualizing also the next roadmap. He said, when I collect cash, I have to go and deposit to the bank. Can you help me also in that? Can this machine automatically transfer the money which I collected from the people as a wallet? The money is there, money is on the machine. Can I deposit automatically in my account? That was the roadmap of our, whole automation processes to bring down the cost of transactions. Very interesting. So I think in nutshell, what I'm trying to say, they need to focus on the consumer. They need to focus on the ecosystem. They need to design the right models for those ecosystem and right enablers for them. And what I meant by enablers for them, we are doing financial inclusion services with one of the leading banks. We have just started. And as a leapfrog, because we have learned so much from the other technologies, there are so many small things, which makes effectivity much higher. The one is the KYC is the biggest challenge. When you do and acquire a customer, your cost of acquisition is very high because somebody has to fill up the form, take the photograph. It took 3 days. Saab aaj photograph nahi hai, kal aana, fir wo dobara jata hai. He goes again and collects the photograph. So we started to crack this problem one by one. The whole system we have built it. He takes a photograph, fills up the form directly on digitally, fire on the system directly. No digital happens. So, we have automated such of the processes and brought down the cost of transaction so low so that the business case becomes viable. And it then included to involve consumer and option, we need to evolve more services like loyalty, couponing and everything, which started aggregating like one of my friends said, aggregators are now available. Like Snapdeals and all, we can integrate them and create a larger ecosystem around this. And that will actually serve the right purpose for this India. Thank you very much.